I think antibiotics should be a last resort, not a first step. But if you've tried herbal antimicrobials and tried other things and it has failed, sometimes antibiotics are the best option. They just shouldn't be your first go-to when you're looking at how to treat whatever it might be that has you going on antibiotics.
Are you struggling with bloating, gas, constipation, and fatigue, but don't know what's causing these problems? The Gut Health Reset podcast with Dr. Anne-Marie Barter dives deep into the root causes behind these issues that start in the gut. This podcast will give you the knowledge you need to heal your gut and reset your health.
Thank you so much for joining us here today on the Gut Health Reset podcast. I'm your host, Dr. Anne-Marie Barter, and today we are doing a mini episode on what to do if you have to go on antibiotics. So what probiotics are you going to use to rebuild your gut? And when you get that pesky diarrhea associated with antibiotic usage, what do we do? And so we're going to talk about specific probiotic species that you can use to help your system. Today is going to be a little bit of a mini episode. We're going to shorten it. We got a little bit of feedback that some of the episodes were a little bit long and it was so much information that it was hard to digest. So we're going to still have the episodes, but we're going to try to kind of whittle down how much is being explained in just one episode and potentially release a second episode. So you're going to have a mix in of some mini series, some longer interviews, just so that we can mix it up a little bit. So getting back to the question, what to do if you have to go on antibiotics. And this is pretty, there's some stigma around this, especially in the functional or natural community, right? I think most people want to avoid antibiotics if at all possible. And I think that's very appropriate. I think that they have their uses and they're very, very important and they're life-saving, but they're not great when overused. We get resistant infections to antibiotics. And so that's always a concern. So if you have to go on antibiotics, if you've tried herbs or done other things leading up, to get rid of an infection and it just won't go away, and the next step is antibiotics, then here are some probiotics that you want to make sure that you have on hand to take care of the diarrhea that tends to be associated when you go on antibiotics. Okay. So without further ado, let's talk about Lactobacillus Rhamnosus. Okay. We've all heard of the Lactobacillus family. And when I say this in practice, 9 times out of 10, people that are on a probiotic when they come in are like, oh yeah, I'm on Lactobacillus. No, but I said Rhamnosus. Okay. Lactobacillus Rhamnosus is very helpful for diarrhea after antibiotics. So that's very helpful, but it has some other benefits, and it's sometimes not in, if you're on a probiotic, and it's a lot of times not in there. You'd be surprised. So you need to just check the label if you have a probiotic that you really like. I use it in my IBS support. I'll put a link below. And that's what I use after someone has been on antibiotic therapy. So a couple benefits of this are that it actually will help IBS symptoms. It will help protect you from getting cavities. I mean, what a bonus. That's an amazing side effect. It can help you lose weight, which is also great. And it can help to create other species of probiotics to help your gut recover from the antibiotic therapy. It also increases something called short chain fatty acids, which are really important for our microbiome. So Lactobacillus rhamnosus is very important. The next one that I also recommend is are Yeast Support, which is, it has Saccharomyces boulardii in it when somebody has been on antibiotic therapy. This is incredible for mitigating diarrhea in antibiotic usage. A couple other things that it's wonderful for is Saccharomyces boulardii helps to protect against yeast or candida overgrowth. We've all heard, oh my goodness, I've had this candida infection. You might have tried herbs to get rid of it. Maybe it persists on. A good adjunct to that would be, adding Saccharomyces boulardii into your routine to help to rebuild the gut. It also has another interesting use, and that is to help with C. diff infections. So it happens in the hospitals. That's commonly when you hear about a C. diff infection. It's an opportunistic bacteria, but it can happen in the normal population. We have a podcast interview where we talk all about C. diff. But with long-term antibiotic usage, you can develop C. diff. So it is a concern, and you certainly don't want this major pathogen in your body. You want that out. And so Saccharomyces boulardii protects against that. It also has some other uses in inflammatory bowel. It's also very helpful for conditions like ulcerative colitis, as well as Crohn's disease. So I will put the link to those supplements below, the probiotics below, that will help your gut heal. But those are the species that tend to really help heal up the gut after antibiotic usage. Thank you so much for joining us here today. We're always so grateful. And please let us know what you want to hear more of or any FAQs that we can answer. Take care until next time. Bye-bye.